And we have to be honest here. Traveling and experiencing places in the country is still a luxury to so many people. Now, SANParks will be assisting people who would like to travel this festive season with the most financially savvy ways to experience the national parks. To share more on the various budget tiers that is meant to allow all to have fun, we're now joined by SANParks Acting CEO Dumisani Dlamini. Mr. Dlamini, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Morning Live.
Morning to you and your viewers, and thank you very much for having me.
By all means, traveling in South Africa is still a huge luxury to so many people, isn't it? I mean, how can people then budget for a nice vacation to SANParks?
You know what is good about SANPark is that our national park are available across 7 provinces in this country, so you can actually visit a national park that is very much closest to you. And the good thing is that we're offering day visitors, we're offering game drive. So even if it's not affordable to stay in our accommodation, we've got various suites of accommodation from a basic standard room to luxury accommodation, which can suit any kind of a budget that person can have.
So basically, what do you guys offer? I mean, what kind of experience can tourists, look forward to?
So each and every of our park is unique. I mean, if you go to Table Mountain, you just be amazed with the beauty of that particular place. I mean, you can climb on a cable car to Table Mountain. If you go to Kruger National Park, you can actually experience one of the big 5. If you go to Elephant Park, you can actually experience even the marine protected areas and see the whales and see penguins. So if you go to Boulders, it's the same thing. If you go to Galagadi National Park, which is in Northern Cape, you see one of the most beautiful lions which are actually close to the Namibian borders. So it's just amazing what SANPark has to offer. Go to Mapungu, there's a World Heritage Site there with so much historical and cultural content that you can actually learn so much about the history and the trading of this particular country.
You know, Mr. Dlamini, for purposes of understanding the different packages on offer, just give us an estimation of how much I should save.
So depending on how long you want to stay, if you want to stay for a day, it will cost you just less than 500 rand, depending whether you're coming with kids or you're coming alone or maybe it's a couple. But for a basic accommodation, it can cost you anything from 2,000 rand. And again, it depends from which park you are. We offer discount various areas. We've got group discount for example, for Stokvel and for groups like that. There's a promotion that we're currently running for people. If you buy, for example, 4 Dunlop tires, you get a free binoculars so that you can see nature much better. You get 20% discount in one of our accommodation across the country. So there's so much that you can. What I encourage people is to visit all our websites, our social media platform, or be in touch with our call center so that we can work a package that suits your budget.
How do I make sure that I stick to my budget? Are there any amenities within within the various parks that I'm going to have to spend again?
Absolutely. So, for example, one which you can't miss is a game drive. You can't miss a game drive because that's core of our business. But you find that in other areas, we've got many activities that are indicated. You'll find that there's a cable car. In Table Mountain, there's a boat. If you visit Cape Point, there's so many activities that you can actually find. Kruger National Park, for example, they've launched amazing trails which you learn not only about animals, but indigenous plants and other species of trees, which you only find in South Africa, not in any other country in the continent. So these are everything that you can actually absolutely enjoy. We've got a park that is called Golden Gate National Park in Bloemfontein. It just offers tranquility and fresh air to an extent that it just heals whatever you've been going through throughout the day. Sometimes you just don't need to do anything. Just need to sit and relax and refresh from this difficult year.
And how do you ensure the safety of travelers against COVID-19?
So yesterday, we just launched a special operations ranger team and operations room for Table Mountain National Park because we believe at SANPark, key to operation is an area integrity which puts emphasis on protecting not only fauna and flora, but visitors in all our parks around the country. So the purpose of this program was to ensure that we prepare appropriate resources as well as protect our visitors, staff, infrastructure, and biodiversity. This is a highly trained, specialized team with K9 that's integrated to all our operation. And what is so good about them, they've also received a SANA firearm competency training as well as first aid training so that we're able to even assist those visitors in our parks who might have even emergency medical issues. So most of our parks are actually a closed system. It's only national park and a few parks which are open system. So that's why we've intensified how we train our rangers and how we protect our visitors. You know, for example, in Table Mountain, there have been a lot of criminal activities, which we've now clamped down. We're using intelligent technology. We're working with law enforcement units within. We're working even with communities to make sure that we protect our visitors. We're actually ready for this festive season and say everybody who comes to any of our national parks is guaranteed their safety and from any kind of danger.
And how has the cancellation from the tourists overseas meant to visit during the festive season affected the industry?
That's $1 million question. As you know, that South Africa's tourism and hospitality industry has already lost over $1 billion due to cancellation of bookings. And this cancellation, which have come amid to these international bans, which have been imposed to South Africa in particular, because of the Omicron COVID variant. At this rate, we are seeing that South Africa is about to lose about 78% of previously expected business levels between December now and March 2022, which is very concerning. I mean, you would have noticed that according to the World Travel as well as Tourism Council report, that South Africa's just being on the red list, we lost about 790 million a month of visitors, which is quite huge. SANParks has not escaped this. I mean, about 3 years ago, it had about 3.5 million visitors. It dropped to 750 last year. We have seen some improvement this year, where our visitors up until last month, they were about 1.7 million. And we're starting to see a good year, especially when we were taken off from the red list in October. Obviously, we are concerned with this new variant. We as an organization, we've actually braced ourselves, and we're saying people around the world, especially in those countries where there's travel ban, they mustn't panic to cancel their booking with SANParks. We've made a decision that we're actually in all those countries where they've introduced bans, will not charge people fees, will not charge penalties. We're encouraging actually people to postpone their travel by 12 months, at least from 26 November up until such time those travel bans have been lifted. So we also encourage our guests to opt for cancellation and refund as a last resort. But in the meantime, we're willing to accommodate them in every way to postpone their bookings.
You know, Mr. Dlamini, from the figures that you've mentioned, the figures in losses that you've incurred as a result of the cancellations brought about by the discovery of this new Omicron variant, I get a sense that you get the bulk of the business from international tourists, isn't it? So how then do you make South African parks more attractive and more accessible to the local clientele?
In fact, we're very grateful that the main component of our market is our domestic guests.
Yes.
So our domestic guests, depending on which season of the year, they account between 60 to 70%, and the 30% component is our international guests. Where we actually derive more revenue in the international guests is through our conservation, because international visitors are actually charged more than the local, because we are trying to encourage people to come to our parks. Okay. So that's where we're actually hit hard. But I must indicate that the domestic markets in our beautiful citizens, they really supported SANParks and come to our park. And that's why we've seen this steadily increase in the number of visitors as well as in our revenue during this year.
Okay, so where can people access more information on these offers?
So they can go to our website, the beautiful, bright website, where you can actually find all the offers. We are on all our social media platforms, but we're also available in our call center, which you can also access through our website. Please do share the website and as well as those social media handles. So mainly our website, it's www.sanparks.org, and all social media platforms available. We're on LinkedIn, we're on Instagram, we're as well on Facebook.
All right, Mr. Dumisani Dlamini, lovely chatting to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you.